Live from Ingie's room, the Dr. Phillips Show.
Good morning, everyone. I am your host, Dr. Phillips.
And I'm Donnie, and I struggle with addiction.
Okay, today our topic is why we should stay away from drugs and how they affect our nervous system.
That's great. Let's get started.
Okay, before we start, let's talk about why we should stay away from drugs and we can understand how drugs mess with our body.
And why would any of that be important to me?
Because our body maintains a dynamic equilibrium of homeostasis by coordinating many systems to work together. Drugs interrupt that status to make people feel intoxicated and potentially become addicted to that drug.
Why do people do worse drugs as time passes?
Well, the first time the brain experiences drugs, the neurotransmitter called serotonin is released at a high rate. The next time the person does the same thing, they don't experience the same effect. The intoxication is less intense. Wanting the same high as the first time, the person may continue up the ladder of drugs to get the intense feelings again.
So you're saying, say if I were to do a drug such as marijuana, and if I keep doing that process over time, I won't feel that same great sensation as the first time, and I'll want a harder hitting high.
Yes, so say you go from marijuana and you get the really strong high the first time you do it, and then you do it again and you don't get the same high, so you move to cocaine. The first time you do the cocaine, you're going to get that same high again, but it's going to be a different high, obviously, because it's a different drug. And then it's going to block the dopamine from getting to the neurotransmitters through dendrites and axon. And then you're going to continue up the ladder of drugs if you continue to want the same high.
Okay. Which system does the drugs mainly interfere with?
That's a great question. Drugs mainly interfere with the nervous system.
How?
Well, drugs interrupt the process when the brain is sending electric signals to other parts of the brain or other parts of your body through neurons and neurotransmitters. For example, they create fake signals to stimulate the different areas of the brain to make people feel really good when they are doing the drugs.
Why would any of that be bad? I mean, don't people want to feel good when they're doing drugs?
Without the stimulation to the brain from the drug, patients usually feel depressed, hopeless, and anxious. We call this addiction, and it's bad because when you continue to do it, it creates a problem in your brain and an imbalance to make you depressed and want the drug even more. So we try to figure out ways to prevent you from wanting drugs, like exercise releases serotonin, doing enjoyable things, occupying your brain with different things can all help you be happier.
So you're saying if I would keep on this ladder of drug after drug after drug, experiencing different things, feeling that same high, and if I were to, say somehow I couldn't get my drugs anymore, you're saying there's a possibility I could go into a depression and anxiety and
Yes.
be wanting to crave more and more and more.
Because you want the same high and you can't feel the same high unless you get another drug because of the new stimuli going into your brain releasing the serotonin. So it ultimately disrupts the homeostasis of our body, and that's why people get sick from doing drugs.
Thank you, Dr. Phillips.
Absolutely. Any questions from the audience? Yes.
Would upping the dose of marijuana, if I had addiction, affect my brain even more?
No, upping the dose would not affect your brain very much. It would just make it so that it's harder for you to get away from it. But I would rather you up the dose of a lesser drug than upping the dose with more drugs that affect your brain in a different way.
So you're saying the more, even if you were to do, such as marijuana, smoking marijuana, but you said the dose, say if you take more and more and more, that wouldn't change how he was affected at all?
No, it wouldn't make you necessarily addicted to the drug. It would just make it harder for you to stop. Okay.
And that was the Dr. Phillips Show.
Woo!